So I wanted to just talk about something that's happened to me the past couple weeks. Just a bit of a story time. Dark Souls 2, it's not my main focus. I'm just playing it in my spare time. This will just be going in the background. The experience that I just had was with the hot sauce known as the Last Dab. Now, for people who don't know this hot sauce or haven't heard of it, here's the Scoville on it. It's crazy. It's freaking hot. That's all you need to know. I am not good with hot sauce. I am horrible with it. My friends make fun of me because of how little I can handle hot sauce. And I'll accept, it's not something like I don't care too much about, but I just can't handle it. I don't handle spice too well. Just to finally start the story. So I play D&D, which is Dungeons and Dragons, and I've been starting it up since about near the beginning of last year, and it's been fun, I like playing it a lot. But anyways, so in D&D, you have a 20-sided dice, and what that is you use it in a sense to help you to roll certain things that'll happen. So, for an example, say you want to investigate for traps. You'll roll that 20-sided dice to see if you can find the traps. The higher you roll, the better you can perceive traps. The lower the roll, the worse you can perceive it. Now, the best part about the 20-sided die is you have the chance to roll a 20. A 20 is the best possible outcome you can get, and it's really good for you. Now, on the other side is a 1. A 1 is the worst thing you could ever get in D&D. It leads to hilarious results, but it's still the worst thing you could possibly get. And my friends and I have a rule that we've developed for people who roll 1s. At first, it was 15 push-ups. I think we did 30 sit-ups, and then a minute of a wall sit. Not too bad. Nothing too crazy. But recently, we decided to up the ante, and we're like, okay, yeah, exercising's all good and stuff. It's good for us, but what if we made this, like, a little worse, for getting a 1? They decided we should do hot sauce. We would have hot sauce if we would roll 2 1s in a row. That's what we started with. Our first D&D session of this year, I roll a 1, and I'm like, okay, this sucks, but I'll be all right. I do my 15 push-ups. And then I roll another 1. That means I have to take the last dab. I'm definitely nervous. Like, I don't handle hot sauce well, and I'm about to put the hottest thing probably in the world in my mouth. I take a bite, and the heat kicks in instantly. My mouth is on fire. Like, it's crazy how much heat there is in just one little sauce. Your mouth it literally just feels like your mouth is on fire. It is burning. It's the worst thing that could happen. So yeah, my mouth is just completely on fire. It is misery. It's horrible dealing with this stuff. But the thing is, with a hot sauce, even though I suck with it, I'm gonna tough it out. So for the first minute, I don't drink any water. I don't drink any milk. Nothing. I just deal with it just to get that experience in. And oh, it was awful. What's other ways I could describe this other than my mouth was on fire? I couldn't function. I think at a certain point, if you heat something hot enough, your body gets a high off of it. Let me look that up real quick. I'll show it right here. I think you get a high off of it if you eat a certain amount of hot sauce. Of course, I started drinking milk after that first minute, and it started residing, I still was there. My tongue, I think, went numb for a little bit. Yeah, so my mouth went numb, but I was okay. I got through it. Little do I know that this is only the first stage of dealing with the last dab. So later that night, no, it wasn't that night. It was the next morning. My stomach started churning, like pretty bad, just that like, okay, something's wrong here. And all of a sudden I felt it. I felt the heat start coming to my butt, and ran straight to the bathroom as fast as I could. I ran straight there, and immediately just pain.
Pain. Lots of pain.
Just horrible pain. Just sitting there and suffering. I'm not exaggerating when I say a tear was shed. And I was sitting there for probably, thankfully not too long, 10, 15 minutes, but it felt like an eternity. It just did not get any less. It was just awful. That was my first experience with something like that. So, cut to 1 week later, we do another D&D session. I roll my first one again, fairly early on, and I do my push-ups, and I'm just like, oh, All right, you know what? It happens to the best of us, so let's just keep going. Roll my second one. And I'm just like, gosh dang it, all right, let's just get this over with. And so I decide, you know, I'm gonna eat it on a carrot this time. I'm like, all right, let's do this. So I bit down, and the heat started kicking in, and I'm just like, okay, let's just work on it, getting it down. But as you know, with a carrot, you can't get it down that quick. You know, it takes some freaking time to chew a carrot. And that was probably the worst decision I've ever made when it comes to choosing what to eat the hot sauce with. It didn't go quick. I was chewing and chewing, but I was on fire. Like, it was so much worse than last time. It's not that it lasted longer, but it just was more potent because I had to keep it in my mouth that much longer. I could just feel the heat getting worse and worse and worse. And it's just like, oh no, this is the worst. I finally get it down in my mouth. Again, it's on fire. It's the worst thing I've ever experienced. And so just in conclusion, like, when you're taking the last dab, don't eat it with a carrot. It's so much worse. And also, you know, how about not have the last dab be taken on the second dice roll in D&D? I mean, not the second dice roll, but the second time someone rolls a 1. Just not again.